Great. Hello, Internet. We are on the Ignite call. It's me and Sunny. I'm from Weave. He's from StorageOS, and we're talking about cool stuff. Sunny was just updating us on, if I share my screen here, just, then, yeah. Sunny submitted this PR with a simple fix where we had a little bit of a code during the image pull of Ignite's pull implementation for the Docker runtime. Apparently, we were closing the reader, and so he's deferring it now, and then he added a test. So this end-to-end test, basically what I'm seeing here is mostly test fixtures, and then he is removing the image if it already exists. And then he has the output set up. Make sure that it's removed in Docker. And then does the import. Okay, cool. Maybe this is just the hello world image.
The test above this is using Containerd, the default. So now we have this for both the runtimes.
I see. There was already one for Containerd. Did
The
you write this?
While fixing the tiny image import fix.
Yeah, okay, cool. I assume that this test passes. It looks pretty clean. And I see nothing wrong with merging this. So, and then you mentioned that the other thing that you did was in the copy command. I see you just updated this over the weekend.
Yeah, yesterday, I think. Yes, yesterday.
Lots of hacking over the weekend, huh? Rebase added ETE tests for copying directory. Thanks for the rebase. Hopefully that wasn't too messy.
No, nothing. I keep rebasing my PRs all the time.
Yeah. I know that we've done some other large merges for like the kernel refactor and stuff, so hopefully nothing was too overlap.
There was a conflict in the Go mod file. Resolved it, yeah.
Yeah, I think Lucas updated dependencies in a PR, so that makes sense that would have happened. I'm actually curious, did we? Nope, it's already.
This is failing because of a new package.
Yep.
SFTP package, yeah.
That's quite annoying. Yeah, I think the next thing that I should work on is end-to-end testing and some tests or some, what am I saying? Some CI refactoring for the project. But yeah, so you said you added find tests.
You can check the last commit, that will have everything.
Yeah, I think it's this test right here, it looks like, right? Dir find command.
Yeah.
And, so test copy directory from host to VM. And then there's probably, so you were saying in the last commit, you add docs. That's fine.
No, the last one. That's the first.
Oh, that was the first commit. I always do that. I expect it to be in Git log order, but it's reversed. So you added two tests, directory from VM to host and directory from host to VM. Wow.
There's a lot of repetition. I can simplify things.
No,
later?
I mean repetition in test code is kind of a good thing anyway. Um, it's just I say wow because I really respect the quality of that you put in. You do you do an incredible job.
Thank you.
It's just awesome to work with somebody who submits such high quality patches and who cares and is having fun. And I just really appreciate working with you. So, and I'm really excited to get this feature in. So I'll do another full review on this,
Hmm.
and then I imagine this will be in the next few days.
Yeah.
Thanks for the patience on the reviews and stuff. Hacking on some GitOps and cluster networking stuff on the side right now. So, the probably the most important thing that I needed to ask about, if you had nothing else you were going to bring up, is that I am having trouble with Ignite on my machine.
Mm-hmm.
And this could just be because of all the other Kubernetes stuff I'm doing. But is Containerd plus CNI working? Question.
It is working for me.
It's broken for you?
No, it's working for me.
It's working well for you. Okay.
Like just creating a VM, right?
Not just creating, but the actual networking. And I'm happy to show you what I'm experiencing, and maybe it's just something simple. But,
Okay. I'm building now to check again if everything is fine.
okay. Yeah. I haven't done a full regression test with like 063 or anything, but happy to mess with that right now if you'll bear with me. So, okay. I just merged that image fix. So we are there, and then if we were to make Ignite on master, make sure everything builds. And then
How do you deal with the sandbox image when you build Ignite from a branch? Sandbox image points to a tag that doesn't exist.
when you build, did you see my make command right here? If you build that Docker file, it'll tag it with the proper place.
What will it use the tag as? What's tag? Dev.
Yeah, here, if it's really gibberish, but you can see it doing things here.
Okay, dev. I see dev there.
Yeah,
I
so it
usually
says tag the development image if the architecture matches the host, and then here you can see it's we have Ignite Dev AMD 6.4. So these tags are then loaded with Docker image save for the Docker runtime. And then they're also done. Oh wait, yeah, Docker image save is then piped into Containerd doing an image import. I should probably move this into a function. But I just inlined it into the make file. And then that's how we get it into Containerd there. And then it does it for several tags. So then you can see that there's for the Ignite Dev tag. And then there's also Ignite VO6, blah, 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 commit SHA, Arch. And then the other one is something. Oh yeah, this is commit SHA with no arch. So there's a couple of tags that load just that in.
I have been editing the start.go file and hard coding an image that exists.
Oh, okay. So it looks like my tests actually passed.
Oh, so it's working fine.
I
Does have
guess,
curl, right?
I guess so. Sorry?
Does have curl, right?
Yeah, I was concerned about the curl test, which I don't know how to search anymore. Yeah. So I was concerned particularly about not the Docker ones. Oh wait, no, it did say that it failed. And then your tests passed for the import. Yeah, so this in particular is what I was worried about. E2E.
I built Ignite from master and I'm able to ping outside to the internet. It's working.
It's working for you.
It's working.
Okay. Yeah, because this should have already passed this test right now. So what's happening is this is a DNS failure with curl. I used to have tests, I think, for ping as well.
I think you have the issue that I had. I mentioned here, right? When I create after deleting many VMs, there comes a time when VMs don't have network access. And if I go and delete the CNI files, it comes back.
Yeah, so let's run, because I've run the clean command, which usually would fix any of these kinds of problems. And so if I were to look into like varlib CNI, no, sorry, Etsy CNI, it's like pretty sure empty in there, right?
I remember cleaning varlib CNI. That fixed the issue that I was facing.
Okay. Oh, and then yeah, these are
I think if you delete them, it will start working.
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff about the containerd bridge in here. There's these lock files for IPs. Okay. I'm pretty convinced that that's something that could work. Man, that's really weird. It's almost like I don't have like read permission to this directory or something as root. Varlib CNI is not a thing. Is it no longer a thing all of a sudden? Did I delete it? Okay, well.
Ignite will create it. You don't have to.
Will it? Okay, thanks.
It'll-
We cleaned up everything for the most part. So I want to run the end-to-end test again. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Work.
Okay, there we go.
It's the same bug.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to chase that down at some point, but it seems like there's probably some state tracking for the bridges. Because what I was seeing was that I could not, from inside of a containerd CNI container, I could not ping my gateway. So the bridge could not reach the internet gateway. That is very helpful. Okay, cool. You opened an issue for that, I think, at some point.
I don't think so. I don't know. No, I did not. We discussed it in the meeting. Didn't create an issue.
That's an interesting thing to try and recreate. I wonder how we could reproduce it. It makes me think, like, maybe if you made like 100 VMs and then tore everything down non-gracefully, or like shut down the computer, maybe like maybe a non-graceful reboot.
So my observation is, when you normally create a VM and delete the VM and CNI, the valid CNI network directory, it also cleans up whatever the files it has, and they get cleaned up. But when you see this issue, there will be a lot of other files. And in your case, there were many files, right?
Many. Yeah, there were many files. This results directory had quite a bit of stuff in it, which was interesting to me. It's almost like they were cached. Like there were a bunch of invocations to CNI that were cached. What version of CNI are you using now?
The one that the Ignite documentation has?
I see. It might be 082 is what we have documented, or maybe even 08. But I think it's now to 085. So maybe some of these bugs are patched.
Possible.
But yeah, I think I just updated to the new one. So I was suspicious of a lot of things. Great. Wow, I really wonder, yeah, if I run the clean scripts again, then there's no but this containerd bridge, that's a directory, and then it has this lock file. Which is not owned by anything. And then there's the last reserved IP. What am I doing?
That's like for tracking. The next VM you create will have IP3.
I was just expecting something else, you know, to be in here? I'm like kind of bewildered as to what causes that directory to become dirty.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I did a full clean of Ignite aside from that directory, and it's looking fine again. Still. So, okay. Thanks for the tip. I was beginning to become anxious because I'm like, well, we're not running any end-to-end tests in CI, and I can no longer recall when the last time this worked on my machine was. So now I know.
I find it really hard to work on a project when there are no tests or there's no way to run tests easily.
Yeah, it can be especially frustrating with like an infrastructure project, right?
Mm.
Where the tests like require specific hardware or like some
Maybe we can get some help from forgot the name. Containerd. They publish x86 binaries, right? But for ARM binaries, they use some other CI platform, not the usual that they use, and they distribute binaries separately.
Okay.
It's open something. Let me check if I get the name. Maybe they can host Ignite CI as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll check and let you know.
I'll make a note of that. And
Oh, it's called openlabtesting.org. I'm pasting a link to Containerd's build. Can you check the document? You'll see the link in our document. I don't know much about it, but it looks like just for ARM they build on this platform, and maybe they have support for KVM. Maybe I'm not sure, but it feels like this platform wants to help people run CIs, like unusual cases.
Zool is, I believe, a job scheduler. Is it from Netflix? I've heard that name before. It looks like So are all of these projects using this platform? Because I see Kind on here, as well as cluster API provider OpenStack, which would almost certainly be using KVM. Unless they were, yeah.
So
OpenLab.
while testing Ignite on ARM, I downloaded Continuity binary from here.
Bosch, virtual kubelet. Rust is, oh no, this person is doing Rust OpenStack stuff. Docker machine, that's also really encouraging. Definitely all of this Bosch stuff as well would probably require some vert. Yeah, so there are different schedules for which you can get jobs in the queue. I've never used Zool before, but this looks pretty cool. It's you can see that there is a variety of nodes. Linaro, Huawei Cloud. This looks really neat. They're all running Ubuntu. And then what is a build set? I see. So these are like higher up representation. And then they have a change ID. Okay. And then all of the jobs. Oh, wow.
So maybe you can get some help from them.
Yeah, perhaps. When I went to their main website, it looks like you can put in the request. I suppose, yeah, I would send an email. I'd join the email or the mailing list, and then get started. Okay, yeah, you open that test request up on their GitHub, and then you there seems to be an incentive in here to blog or otherwise produce research or evaluations from the results of the testing. I certainly would be happy to blog about using OpenLab, but I'm not sure exactly what their desire or request is there. So we'd have to look into it or just ask the question on the mailing list. This is neat. Thanks for thinking of it. Great. And then otherwise,
I also updated another PR. Was it a flag to stop generating name?
Yeah. Okay.
It was not working for if you're using a config file. I added that and I added a test for that.
Oh, interesting. Lucas opened up this issue. Set network namespace. And in the PRs section, there was this, the required name.
Hmm.
You said you updated this and added tests?
The second commit will have the new changes.
Yeah. Because I think the last time we chatted, I reported that I had tried out a build of this and it was not working with the config file.
Right.
Still have plenty of time in the meeting. Add require name, check in VM config. Did you actually add it to the config?
There's this check here, this one.
But you didn't add it to the config. It's just still a flag, right?
No, not to the config. In the start. What is it? Create, in the create command.
Oh, okay, in the create options.
Not in the config.
Yeah, I was just confused by the naming.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so basically if I were to, this is 560. Check that out again. And then there we are. Little brute force git history. I wonder if, is there a force flag on checkout? I don't even, or I just want to overwrite the contents of a local branch. No.
I have to search every time I am in such a situation.
There's an F. Oh, okay, yeah. So you can throw away local changes like this. Let's see. So if I were to do that, then that would, I'll have to remember that. That slows me down sometimes. So.
Usually I just do check out dot and it cleans up all the local changes.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and do our make. And then there was with the config and tried this already. So I would imagine that this would produce a failure. But this has a name in it. There we go. Okay, that's working. That's working nicely. So then I could do a non-VM, and then I can name it Jerry. Did I? Can I not override it with a flag? I guess that's probably the root of the bug. Is going to be my guess there. So the reason why you had to add in an extra check is because the control flow for using a config is probably separate from constructing a VM object with flags.
There is a constructor when you don't use a config file, you get a default VM object, which has all the default things. But when you're using config, you don't use a default VM object.
Yeah, it should probably look like when creating a VM, give me a default, or if config, give me this, and then allow the flag overrides from there.
I have something related to this in PR. One of the POC PR, which was the global config file, component config. There I'm changing the start command to not use a default VM object with all the defaults and replace them with specific types, not use VM types.
Okay, that is probably a good portion of the refactor for this proposal. Okay. Yeah, I imagine that would be a better approach. That's so it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with your require name PR. I would expect that this would work, but it's actually an artifact of a pre-existing bug. Because that means even with, if I go back to master and get a build, there's this does not give me a VM of name Jerry21, right? And ideally it should. So that's just not something that's working. So my expectation there was on a feature that doesn't function. Cool.
I've seen. I think I've noticed a bug in for remove where it's doing prefix match. I have to debug that and fix that bug. Like prefix matching in create command, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's an existing VM that has similar name to the new VM that you're creating, it says it exists already. There is similar issue in stop or remove command, I think. I will work on it this week. I think I noticed the bug there.
Yeah. In general, I think the prefix matching code it has some buggy points in it. It's almost would be better if everything was an exact match. I know that Docker has some very nice prefix matching behavior that is not buggy, but we're definitely using it in some of the wrong places. Cool. What does this entire PR look like? Because that was my only qualm after doing a review of this, was just checking that the functionality actually worked with config as well. And
It's really small change, only tests are big.
that's actually funny. The way that GitHub had collapsed the change was like, this code block doesn't make any sense. That because it wasn't under the function header. It was be under. And then you added the tests. And then there is a fixture for a config inside of test data. And the docs update. These cases cover only the failure cases of new create options. Success cases would lead to actual image imports and would require setting up a backend storage as well. These tests are enough for checking the require name flag. So these are a bunch of create flags. Just making sure that the options are able to be constructed. And then this is construct VM from CLI. Invalid image reference. True. So there's a bunch of sad test cases and some happy ones. Valid port mapping.
The last one is require flag test.
This one right here would cause an error because we're passing in require name with VM and our test image, and it is so I did a build here, and this is in how is this going to invoke the test? This is an Ignite run.
It's in command ignite run.
Oh,
CMD.
thanks.
Let's go mod. I had this issue on my computer as well. This Firecracker SDK 0.21 changelog has some changes in the version that Go mode pulls and the actual version that's in GitHub. If you check on the vendor directory and changelog of this version, you would see that it's actually from version 0.20, not 0.21. I was thinking something is cached on my computer and it's failing. But I was doing something else, not this PR. I was working on it yesterday. That one fix. I went to GoMod's package mod directory and deleted from there as well, deleted all the cache. Even then, it always pulls the wrong file for 0.21 version.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what was happening.
So I just deleted my GoSum. Was all I needed to get rid of there. Seems like.
That will generate new hashes. That should be fine.
Yeah. A lot of new hashes. But this is the one that we were interested in. Wow. Okay.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Go dep.
Yes. Yeah.
I was contributing there as well. I was one of the maintainers. So Go mod feels very hard to use to me.
Yeah. I think for all of the theoretical improvements and correctness that GoMod provides, and I've spoken with some of the folks who are GoMod contributors. It's, in my opinion, the GoMod UX is not good. It's really hard to work with. The fact that you can change GoMod and then run a tool that will then change it for you is super confusing. Because I, as a user, make a declaration. I'm providing an input. I'm saving it into a file. If I don't check it into a repo or copy it into another file, like gomod.user or something, then you can run a Go test or a Go anything, and it'll change your GoMod for you.
It reformats everything.
It'll change version numbers.
Version number as well generates new hashes for whatever branch or version you.
Yeah, I mean, the GoSum makes sense to me. Like, that's a good thing. And I know they say it's not a lock file, but it has an effective, like, similar function. But I think that is like a serious UX misstep. It's like, if you want to store state about what I inputted, put it into a different file, you know? Like, put it into gomod like calculation, or, you know, gomod.autogen or something. Don't change what I input. This was a real pain when working with things like client Go and stuff. Like, when any library that's not using the actual semantic versioning, you could put in a branch ref. And then as soon as you did like a Go test, it would replace your branch ref with like a commit SHA.
Right.
Which is useless to the user. But yeah.
I was really confused when I used it for the first time.
Yeah. I've been very confused as well. What am I trying to accomplish here? I need to fix this vendor directory problem before I do another test, maybe? Well, the test will probably run. Okay. So here we have, it was in, oh, did I not do a checkout of your fixed branch? Oh, I'm on master.
I thought you did.
Yeah, I was just there.
So this GoSum conflict was on master branch.
It is, yeah. I think there must have been a change to the upstream dependency because this wasn't a problem before. So it's not a problem with your branch.
Construct VM from CLI. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, you added quite a few tests. I'm just
All the
getting
options.
a feel for, yeah, which tests are here, how they're formatted, what it feels like. But this is, I feel really comfortable about this patch. And so that last thing, since we're running out of time, is okay. Lucas just commented saying that no one was working on it.
Vagrant. What's happening? Vagrant?
This contributor named Mark has been very interested in Vagrant and Chef for setting up Ignite machines since last year. And so every now and then, Mark will come and ask for documentation or clarification or things about building a Chef module or other things like that. And
it's for installing Ignite inside a Vagrant VM.
Yeah, or using Ignite as a backend to Vagrant or any number of things, right? Yeah. Like, what does this integration look like? But
that would be interesting. Vagrant running on top of Ignite.
it would be, yeah. It'd be similar to like using Docker, right? Except you'd end up with the micro VM isolation. Because yeah, there's a Docker Vagrant backend. I've never used it on any projects, but yeah, Vagrant has a lot of powerful workflows. So. I have no idea why that got updated.
Is this Chrome?
It is, yes.
And you have too many tabs. Chrome tabs.
Yeah, my life is a lot of tabs right now.
I can give this a try. Would be really useful.
Hmm.
The last time I tried to implement this was like a few months ago. The problem was if I pass something in the as input stream to Ignite's exec, it will continue reading. It won't stop reading.
Hmm.
And I was not aware of Ignite's code at that time. Now I can do something about it.
Okay. I'll mention. This release is going to be such a big improvement. Yeah, I cannot tell why this issue is updated. Very confused why GitHub is telling me to look at this again. But I haven't really done any issue triage. A few days.
There was a user. Do you remember some brother dev something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Like, he was creating too many issues, and so one day I saw that he started closing all the issues with the same comments that he won't be using Ignite, and he won't have time to help. So he closed all the issues he created.
Yeah, I mean, they're still there. I think folks do that as a signal, to say, like, hey, no pressure. Like, I'm, because folks will use their open issues, right?
Hmm.
Like, if I click on my issues, like, folks will expect this, like some people like task track.
Hmm.
So for me, like if I open an issue, from a long time ago, I just leave it open. But some folks don't like to see things that will never be closed. And so if they suspect that it's not going to be resolved, they let somebody else deal with that
I
problem.
feel it's like a contribution. You're reporting some issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that behavior a lot where folks will be like, I'm not expecting an answer from this, and you can't expect me to continue contributing to this issue, so I'm going to close it. I don't think it's rude. I just think it's different. I tagged one of the issues that he closed as a design thing, so we could reopen those or any number of things. But very grateful that somebody came and was looking at the project, thinking about actually using it for production use case. So Ignite is, in many ways not a viable project yet for running a production workload that's not like testing or something like that. But someday,
Yes.
when the core is more stable, right? I think that we can be pretty proud of the UX that we've created. Certainly using Ignite is a step up in a lot of ways from managing virtual machines before. And I'm actually excited to see in the future, like I was reading some of the Cloud Hypervisor code, which is a project that's similar to Firecracker and CrossVM. Just has some different goals for managing VMs. And then obviously there's Kimu. There's a bunch of other things that are not Firecracker that could potentially expand Ignite's usage at some point. But Lucas is also pretty excited about these things because it means that people could use Ignite on a Mac, right, natively, that kind of thing. But yeah, the integration with CNI and the UX of using container image and being able to extend it. There's some really solid stuff in there, like being able to shell into things, being able to copy files back and forth really easily, managing keys. These are not things that a normal VM manager would do for you, and it makes it feel a lot more useful. Because container UX has given us different expectations as operators.
StorageOS is really happy.
Like StorageOS is really happy with Ignite.
The kind integration that we have lets people create like any node cluster within a minute, and they can just start testing everything really quickly. They're really happy. My manager keeps telling like how good this is, and he keeps deleting and creating clusters again throughout the thing.
So you're able to use it as a really powerful dev tool for the storage integrations with the Linux kernel.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Maybe we can list StorageOS as a user or something on our website. I think Daniel submitted a refactor PR to use a different document generation thing. Yeah, he's working on this. I saw him. Oh, this was updated it very recently, I guess. I'll have to message him. But yeah, it's great to have users. So, well, did you have anything else that you wanted to bring up, Sunny?
Nothing new. I needed some feedback on the component config and import. Import can wait. Component config, I would like to hear some feedback.
I will read that PR probably on Wednesday. And then I'll get you feedback.
Yeah.
So I'll make that the next priority. And then after I read that, I'll probably look at CI.
Right.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for your time. It's always great to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay safe and healthy.
You too. Yeah, bye.